Thank you. The first words spoken on Television Éireann 63 years ago were on the potential for the news service to present the good and the true and to instil vigour and confidence in the people of Ireland. Since that time, public service broadcasting in Ireland has, when it is at its very best, fulfilled that potential. RTE has created a public space for the people of Ireland to speak of and to one another, to speak of the good in our society and to speak the truth, even when that has been uncomfortable and challenging. During electoral periods, during the pandemic, during fundamental times of change and challenge in our nation, this service has provided a civic forum in which diverse voices can speak and be heard. RTE has provided a space whose foundations rest on a trust built by the staff of public service broadcasters over generations, a trust that is not only between a broadcaster and its audience, but between a national institution and the people of this country. This trust can only be sustained if the common good prevails over individual interests and if public service broadcasters truly demonstrate the character of a public service as set out and as they are required to under the broadcasting legislation. That is why the revelations of over almost 2 weeks now have been so shattering. They have been an affront to everything that public service broadcasting is meant to stand for. In failing to abide by the standards required of a public service broadcaster, RTE has lost the trust of the people and of its own staff. Our job as government is to help rebuild that trust. Public service broadcasting is too important to our democracy, our culture and our society to allow RTE to fail. Trust must be restored. RTE must restore the values and ideals on which it was founded. This can only be accomplished through a wide-ranging and comprehensive examination of the fundamental causes of the failures in RTE, one that also charts a clear path to prevent their recurrence. For that reason, following the agreement of my government colleagues this morning, I am publishing the terms of reference of an independent examination of RTE and the appointment of 2 expert advisory committees composed of experts in their field to oversee the 2 different strands of this examination. The examination will be supported by professional services firms engaged by my department. A robust corporate governance framework and an open, transparent and accountable culture are all fundamental to the success of any public service organisation. We have seen what can happen in their absence. The first review will examine and make recommendations on the measures necessary to build stronger governance structures and to reform the organisational culture in RTE. And this review will be overseen by Professor Niamh Brennan, Dr. Margaret Cullen and a third person who will be appointed in the coming days. The second review will examine how external RTE contractors are engaged, the fees paid, and a number of important HR matters with a particular focus on gender equality, diversity and inclusion, and including issues that have been raised with me by RTE staff and representative bodies. This review will be overseen by Brendan McGuinty, Patricia King and a third person who will be appointed in the coming days. I expect to receive the final report within 6 months of the commencement of the examination, and interim reports will be submitted as required. I should also say, as Oireachtas committees are undertaking their own deliberations, I will, if necessary, extend the terms of reference of the examination to take account of any future revelations through those committees or future Grant Thornton reports.